Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 89. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to you guys. I was going to say the fourth video podcast episode. I will stop counting. I promise I will stop counting. This will be the last time I count. I won't say for like the 15th million because I'll end up losing count anyway. But welcome back to Something About Tuesdays. And hey, hi, welcome. I'm trying not to say welcome back to the fourth episode. We'll see if I edit that part out. Anyway, hey everybody, how was your last couple of weeks? Mine have been pretty good. Mine have been very good actually. But I think my next 2 weeks after this week is going to be even better. We'll get into it. All right, but first, let me start with just today. So I'm recording this Saturday evening. You might be able to tell through my window lights that it is evening time. It's almost 10 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's like 9:30 ish. Um, I'm recording, and I had a pretty nice, good, chill day today. So let me tell you. All right. So the only thing on my agenda when I started today was I wanted to go exchange my computer at work. And you're like, what? So every 4 or 5 years, you get the new computer. They keep track of whose computer is old. They'll exchange it for a new one. And you might be thinking, but you're going on leave, and I am. But I messaged the IT people this week, and I was like, hey, will I keep my computer and will I keep my email? And they were like, you'll keep your computer, which I was like, okay, but they will probably freeze my email while I'm on leave. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So it was time for me to get an upgrade. I got that message, and I was like, all right, let's do this. So the drive-through pick up your computer was today. So that was my goal and recording this podcast. So I was like, okay, nothing too crazy, should be good and chill. Let's just see how the day goes. So get up, the drive through is from 8 to 12, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I was like, okay, as long as I get up sometime in there, which with my fee, I will. With my fee, I could hope to get up between 8 and 12. With her, it's more like sometime between 4:30 and 9 o'clock is our wake up time. And so this last night, it just happened to be at her 4:30 wake up time, which we are trying to get her to sleep through the night. Yeah. She woke up at 4:30 and she was doing good. Like she had woken up the time before that was like 12:30. She went to bed about 8:30, woke up at 12:30, fed her a little bit, woke up at 4:30, and I was like, okay, I could feed her. Y'all, sometimes I can feed her and she goes right back to sleep. That was the plan. That was the hope. Let's talk about the reality. So at 4:30, I was like, okay, let me feed her. Let me change her diaper. That's probably what did me in. As I was feeding her, and her eyes were closed, and she was just drinking. And then I saw it happen. I saw the second wind just breathe into her because her eyes were closed. She was chilling, and then all of a sudden her eyes opened. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, baby, close those eyes again. Close those eyes again. And they opened and they looked up at me in interest. They looked to the left. They looked to the right. She's still drinking her milk at this time. And I was like, the girl's awake. And y'all, she was awake. She was darting her eyes back and forth. She started to sit up. That's one of the big ways I know that she's like about ready to wake up is she's like looking around while she's eating, thinking she's gonna miss something. The girl's got FOMO. And so she starts moving around and shifting and looking. And I was like, no, please, it's 4:45. Go back to sleep. She finished her bottle and she was awake. And I was like, okay, maybe I can pet her back to sleep. So I flip her over my shoulder. I start patting her, pat, 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 pat. And she's like, huh. And she whips her head back. And I was like, oh no. I was like, well, maybe if I just put her down in the crib, maybe that never works, but maybe it'll work this time. I take her, I put her in the crib, I lay her down, and she immediately pops up and is like, eh. And I was like, oh no. Y'all, she and for 20 minutes. So I picked her up. It's like, okay, maybe if we'll go to the recliner. I lay on the recliner. She's moving, shifting around. Nah, that wasn't working. I get up, I go get another bottle or refill this bottle. with just a couple of ounces. I'm like, just enough to get you to go back to sleep. I get her. She's sipping on it. Y'all, by this time it's like 5:15, okay? She's sipping on it. She's sipping on it. She finishes it. Her eyes are closed. I'm like, okay, good. I flip her over, to pat, pat, pat to get ready to lay her down. Y'all, eyes open. I was like, no, baby. So about 6 o'clock, she did manage to kind of go back to sleep on me. I pet her. She was sleeping, but I wasn't sleeping because she was on me and we were still in the recliner. So I was like, okay. Well, I'm like drifting off and on. She's drifting off and on. Around 8 o'clock, I can just feel her. This is the wake up shifting around. I was like, oh man. I was like, I'm still so tired. Come on, baby. Don't you want to sleep any longer? So I get up, I get another bottle. I lay us both down on the bed this time. So I'm down, she's down with me, and she's just crawling everywhere. She's not, sleep is far from her mind. I'm like, okay, maybe you can entertain yourself while I lay here for just a little bit. Y'all. she's if you've ever laid with a baby that's not tired, I mean, crawling everywhere, climbing everywhere, y'all. She starts grabbing my face, like grabbing my eyes, grabbing my cheeks, grabbing my mouth. And at some point I look up and like her face, her mouth is like right on my mouth and nose, and she's just like and I was like, oh man. And I just open my eyes and I just smile and I'm like, hi baby. Okay, we're gonna get up. So it was like 8:40 this time. And so we go ahead and get up. Hubs is up. He's making breakfast. And we just begin our day. So that's how the day started today. I am very exhausted. I did not get a nap. You guys see these dark circles that I still need to figure out how to filter out? Yep, they're there. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to be up. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take Fee with me to go get the computer. I was like, it should be in and out. I worked this week. I want to spend time with the baby. Let's do this. But of course, I'm like, okay, I can do this with just Fee, or I can call in my mom, right? And make it like a day of it, right? So I call mom. I'm like, hey, ma, don't you want to go with me to exchange my computer? And then we'll see what happens after that. And mom's like, sure, come on, pick me up. So this is probably like now, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I think I leave the house about 10:30, 10:45. Go to get mom, and I'm like, hey ma, you ready? Mom was ready. She comes on out. We had to go get my computer, and it takes like 2 seconds. I don't even have to get out of the car. They came up with a system. You used to have to get out of the car, go to this like warehouse, go to this back room where there's like, you like ring the bell and someone comes to the door and they're like, we'll take your computer. They take the computer, disappear, and come back with a new one. It used to be crazy, but this time they're outside. They have little tents. They're standing out there. They check you in. They send you to the next tent. You turn in your computer. You get your computer, and you're done. So I didn't even have to get out of the car, which was nice. Especially, I think Pooh might have been sleeping at this point, so it was nice to not have to get Fee out. But anyway, so we get that, and it just happens to be where my sister works, or close to where my sister works. And I was like, Mom, I was like, too bad Beth's not working today, or we could have went and visited her. And Mom was like, actually, she's working today. It was a Saturday. She works like one Saturday a month, so it just happens to be the Saturday that she was working. So we head over there, and food segment alert. It just happens to be near one of my favorite Japanese places called Mount Fuji. Okay, I may have talked about it a long time ago. I don't remember, but Mount Fuji has the best fried rice. I've eaten several different Japanese fried rices. I don't know how they cook theirs, what's in it, or what, but theirs is like the top notch fried rice for me. Like literally, I go there for the fried rice. I get their fried rice. I don't get the hibachi. I don't even get the meat. I get the vegetable fried rice because it's good enough. And their yum yum sauce. I didn't even know what yum yum sauce was until I had their yum yum sauce. So I got the fried rice. So I was like, okay, we got to go to Mount Fuji. We got to do that. And so we're like, let's visit Beth first. And it just happens to be right around like, now it's like 11:30, 11:45. So we go and we surprise my sister. And she was like, oh, hey. And we're like, hey, we were just here. It just happens to be around lunchtime. We didn't plan for it to be lunchtime, but it just happened to be around lunchtime. And so I hope you guys don't hear the dishes. My husband, he's either cooking or cleaning, and all I hear is like the click clatter of dishes. If you hear that, I'm sorry. But anyway, so So we get there and I'm like, hey, and we, visit her, we surprise her. She gets to introduce Fee to her coworkers. And then it just happened to be lunchtime. And I'm like, okay, hey, we were going to go to Mount Fuji. You want to join us? How long's your lunch? And she was like, I just happened to get an hour today. Normally it's 30 minutes, but today it's an hour. I'm like, look, something else that worked out nicely. So she comes with us. We walk on over to Mount Fuji. All of it's within walking distance. And we get some Mount Fuji, which was really good. And while I was there, all right, I tried a new experience. My mom was like, you have to try it and then talk about it on the podcast. I ordered bubble tea. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. I've always heard of it. I just have never been interested in getting it before. So this time I was like, you know what? Bubble tea. I'm on a whim. I'm going to get it. I got the banana bubble tea because banana just sounded good. I was like, it was hot outside. I was sweating. I was like, give me something refreshing. And so I went for the bubble tea, the banana bubble tea. And I tried it and it tastes like a watered down banana drink. So like you can tell it's banana, but it's not super banana-y, and it wasn't very sweet. But I actually really liked it. It was very refreshing because it's cold. I didn't taste any tea part unless the banana was the tea part. Like there wasn't tea kind of has a bitter taste to it. Really, no matter what kind you get it, there's a bitter taste to it. And then you add whatever sweetener you want. I didn't taste any of that bitter taste. I just tasted like watered down banana, but it was fine. And then it had the tapioca. I think that's what they called the little tapioca balls, seed thingies. And I sucked it up because that's what you do. You just suck it up. And I was like, okay, do I swallow it? Do I chew it? I chewed it. It is the most, and this is just an opinion, pointless addition to a drink I think there ever could be. Unless there was, and I say that because it's like completely flavorless. It's a chewy ball. Like you just chew it and swallow it. There's no flavor. At least the ones I had. There was like literally, there's no burst of sweetness. There's no burst of bitterness. There's no burst. It's just like chew, 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 swallow. And not that I had to look it up and was like, what is this made out of? And I think it's cassava root that's like cooked into a ball and then cooked in brown sugar or some molasses. I don't know, y'all. But it is a squishy thing. And I was like, is there any nutritional value to this? Is there anything like that? No, y'all. It's like a slight carbohydrate. If you need some carbs, which nobody really, I mean, I'm not saying people don't need, but I'm like, if I'm going to eat some carbs, I'm going to eat some spaghetti, okay? I'm going to eat some fried rice. I'm not going to eat these little tapioca seed ball things. As I will say, they weren't bad. They did not take away from the flavor of the tea. The only thing was I got tired of sucking them up. So I was like, the next time I would get bubble tea without the little balls. I don't even know if that's a thing. Like, I don't know if you can. Like, I don't know if that's what makes it bubble tea. I'd have to look that up. I don't know, but I would get like the banana drink was fine. I was like, I'll get that banana drink again, just without the little balls, like without the tapioca, because I'm like that added nothing, didn't take away, other than it got annoying. So I guess it took away a little bit because I would literally like suck one up in the straw and like try to tap it down so I wouldn't have to drink it. I'm like, I want the drink, I don't want the little ball. But try the different flavors, like. If you don't mind a slightly watered down, and I say that like it wasn't, I mean, I drank it enough. I don't like watered down anything. I don't even get ice. I don't get ice in my drinks because I do not like watered down anything. But this wasn't too bad. It was watered down-ish, but not. I don't know if that makes sense. But try it. Try it. It is refreshing. So anytime you're hot, it'll probably taste good just because it's refreshing and cold, right? So if you're on a hot day, get you a bubble tea. I don't know if I wonder if they do hot bubble tea. I wonder if that would work. Like, I wonder if the little tapioca thingies would just melt. I don't know if there's a hot version in case it's like cold outside or whatever. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I tried that. It was great. It was good. And Mount Fuji was good. So after that, Beth walked back to work. Mom and I went back to the car and we were like, what are we going to do now? We're going to just head home. What are we going to do? So we were like, okay, I was like, let's just head in that direction. And then I was like, oh, wait, I remember there's going to be a new library being built close to where I am. My closest one, I mean, I've got a few. It's like 15 minutes away. It's not far, but there's one that that we used to have that was about almost 10 minutes, 15 minutes away, same distance as the other one. but just in a different location. A more central location, kind of easier to get to because it's near all the other things I would go to, like the grocery store, all the fast foods, all of that stuff. So for that point, it's like nice and convenient. So they're building one over there that's supposed to, I think, open next year. I think the building part of it is mostly done. They just need to do finishing touches. I think like the outside, like the what's it called, like the flowers and plants and bushes and stuff, and then of course the inside with all the books. But the bones of it is pretty much done, and the some of the inside's done. So I'm very excited about that opening up next year. When it does, I'll have to let y'all know. I mean, not that, it matters, but I'll be excited to go and see how it is. But anyway, so we decided to drive by there. And then while we were over there, Mom's like, there is a park nearby. Let's check out the park because we hadn't been. So we took Fee over to the park. And you guys, it was the cutest little park ever. And like no one was there. I don't know why. It was a Saturday. I'm assuming everybody's just tired from school this week. Yeah, we went back to school this week, exhausted. So I'm assuming maybe that's why there wasn't a lot of people there. But we went and there really wasn't a lot. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock, I think, by the time we made it over there. But there was people setting up for a birthday party, cute little location. And then there was a splash pad. And so Fee had just been in the car. I mean, we had been hot, right? Like just being outside for literally 5 minutes and you're going to be burning. So we were hot and Fee was whining, and I won't say whining, her little tooth's coming in. So she was kind of like feeling that and crying a little bit in the car. So we're like, let's take a break. Let's go outside. I got her some water. And we went to the splash park area and nobody was there. The water wasn't even on. We had to like turn it on. And I got to like have Phoebe play in it and put her little hands in it, her little feet in it. And she was pretty wary at first, but then she was like, okay. And she would like splash her hand in. I was like, oh, this is the best. And you guys, like literally doing that, I was like, this is why I'm so pumped to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I'm so excited to do this on a random day. Y'all, this is free. It just pays gas to get there. This is fun. This is cute. This is an experience. I was like, y'all, this is what I'm ready. I'm ready. Y'all, you know how much I'm ready? I'm super ready because y'all already got it figured out with my Chat GPT bestie. Y'all know me and Chat. We like this now, right? I put into Chat, like, can you create a daily schedule for me and Fee? Because I'm trying to get her to eat more solid foods and things. And so trying to figure out how to incorporate that more with her bottle. And it was like, do what you can, try to do your 3 meals. And it gave me suggestions. And then I was like, okay, thank you for that. And then I was like, also Wednesdays are special because we go to the library and we have church. Like, can you create a schedule around that? And it did. And then I was like, and we also go to Gigi's. And then I also want to start going to the zoo because we have a membership. And so it created me a weekly daily schedule of what we can do. It have like goals for each day. So it was like Monday is your rest and reset day, which usually is how it is because Sunday's church, it's busy. We hang out with family, we go out to eat or they come over. And so Monday is just, let's just relax and do nothing. And that'll probably be like reset the house, clean up a little bit, all that stuff. Going into the week. And then Tuesday is Grandma Day, Gigi Day. And that's also time with Gigi and then time for Mom and Dad to do other stuff, errands, chill, do something. It's like a nice little day off. Thanks, Mom. And then Wednesdays will be our library and church day. And then Thursdays, Chat was like, that can be your nature day, your outside day. You're going to the park, you're going to the zoo kind of day. And then Friday, it was like your sensory exploration. You could do other things or you can run errands or just whatever that Friday needs to be. That can also be out of the house, but just kind of whatever it needs to be. And then Saturday is like family fun day. That's things that you can do with everybody. With the hubs, bring Dad on board, even though he'll be home now, because he is officially retired. We got to talk about that too. But anyway, so it was, so y'all, I came up with a schedule and anyway, so I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on. I'm so ready. But anyway, so that was today. We did that. We went to the splash park. By the time she got home, she was tired. Did she nap? No, because she napped in the car. And when I took her out of the car to put her in her crib, she laid down for she laid 20 seconds. And then she popped up and was like, wah, 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 be like, Mom, where are you? So she did not go to sleep. So we stayed up and that was fine. She did end up taking a nap later at like between 5 and 6, right? Which is why she's like still awake now. I think Hubs is getting her to go to bed. But anyway, so that was the day. And that was like the chill. I dropped mom off after the park. Mom was like, maybe we'll come over, maybe not, we'll see. But just another relaxing day like last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago. It was 2 Saturdays ago because last Saturday we actually went to a ladies' retreat, I think, which was fun too. So we'll talk about that week leading up to that. But that was just today. Today was just an awesome, cool day. Y'all, I'm trying to get in the summer vibes for as long as I can, okay? Because fall is quickly coming, but we're not going to talk about it. All right, so that was that. And let's jump into really quick into Fee, since, we're kind of on the subject of Fee. I mean, she pops up every time. I mean, what can I say? She's my kiddo. She's going to get her own segment. But she is growing. You guys, so you know how last week I was all like, my baby, she still can't roll over. Guess who can roll over now? Yay! Like just in the last week, she can now officially roll from her back to her stomach on purpose. Yay! I mean, before, like I said, she'd be a little bug. You put her on her back, she'd cry and arms just blah. But now she can officially roll over from her back to her stomach. So she is growing. Y'all, with as much as she growing, my brain, I'm losing it. You guys remember I talked about that, like postpartum, having her, I felt like my brain left and I can't remember anything. Y'all, I have a prime example of my brain leaving. My pastor's wife, so my pastor's daughter-in-law, was having her baby. Yay, congrats to you. She had her baby, but we had a baby shower. And at that baby shower, I think I talked about it last time. I can't remember if I did or didn't. But I do remember showing my pastor's wife pictures of Fee and her growing and developing. And I was like, Sister G, I was like, Fee, she is pulling herself up. She's crawling. And I showed her the video, right? This was as soon as I arrived at the baby shower. I don't know, 30 minutes in, 45 minutes in, Sister G's making her round. She comes to talk to us. And I'm like, Sister G, Fee's growing. Let me show you these videos. Y'all, I showed her the exact same videos. My mom had to interrupt and say, hey, you already showed her these. I was like, I did? And she was like, oh, but it's fine. I don't mind. I was like, how did my brain literally not remember that in the last hour I showed her the exact same videos with the same enthusiasm? Y'all, you think that'd be the worst of it? No. We go to church. This was like the next Wednesday. Okay? I think it was Wednesday. Maybe it was Sunday. I don't know. Tell me why. I'm talking to my pastor's wife. Okay, it's the same person. It is not me showing the same videos to 5 different people. It is me showing the same milestone to the same person. This time I didn't show her the video, but I was like, Sister D, I said, did you know that she's pulling herself up now? Look. And as soon as I said it, I was like, of course she knows. Because you already done showed her 2 videos of the same thing. You showed it to her twice. 2 separate videos, okay? That you showed her twice. So like 4 videos showing the same skill. And then you're going to say to her, have you noticed she's like pulling herself up now? Girl, of course she knows. But my little brain, for whatever reason, I am so focused on like my kid growing and everything that I have shared the same milestone a million times. So I say to you guys, if I have shared with you the same milestone, which I know I haven't for this one because she just got this one. But if next episode I end up saying, guys, she can roll over, just do as my sweet pastor's wife and say, oh, that's okay. We love hearing it, and just smile and nod, okay? Because my brain, this y'all, we 6-7 months postpartum, and I'm still like recovering. Apparently, y'all still feel a C-section. I'm still recovering. But anyway, so I thought I would share with you guys that even though my Fee is growing, my brain it hasn't come back to normal. It hasn't. I hope it will one day. I would love for it to. Y'all, my words. I used to pride myself in being able to spell very good. very well. I was an excellent speller. I was like third place in the spelling bee in elementary and middle school. I was at this was at work. So we returned to work this past week. So this was like one of our PD days. And so it's just the teachers there. And I was writing for my group. They split you in the groups. You guys all, write on a poster board, something or whatever. I was in my group and I was writing the word committee. Okay. I pride myself in being able to spell good. I got to the COMMIT and I started to put a Y. And my brain said, that's not right. So I stopped. But that's as far as I could get. My brain knew it wasn't COMMITY. It knew that. It knew it wasn't committee spelled like that. Maybe in my brain I was mixing it with commodity. I have no idea. But it didn't know what to do next. And I was like, you guys, talking to my teammates, my co-workers. I said, how do you spell committee? And they're like, COMMITT commit E. Y'all, I know how to spell that. I knew how to spell that. But my brain, it glitched. It knew something was wrong, but it couldn't tell you what. That's kind of like when I know the word, but I couldn't tell you what. I'm like, I don't know what's going with my neurons are just not like they're not connected. And I've heard that like when you've had a baby, that your brain is like so focused on it, like your kid and what's important to know for your kid that it like lets go of all the other information. Y'all, that's the only explanation I have, because my brain said, no, we're done with spelling. Who cares about spelling? We care about our kid. We're no longer going to be the spelling bee champion. We're done. I was like, okay. Oh. So anyways, that's my brain. My fee is growing, but my brain is it's doing its own thing. All right. So in the last couple of weeks, you guys, I said it's been good. That's just been recently. My brain giving up on me. That's not good, but it is what it is. My husband is officially retired. Last episode, I said it's coming. It's come. I won't say it's gone. We're in it right now, but he is officially retired. We had his retirement ceremony last Friday, I believe. And it was so good. We weren't really sure what to expect. They hadn't ever really honored retirees before at one of these promotion ceremonies. It was at a promotion ceremony. And that's when, officers, the ranks usually officer to sergeant, sergeant to lieutenant, lieutenant to major, or major to lieutenant colonel, etc. And so normally they just do promotions, but this time they even said the chief of police was like, we're going to try something new. We want to honor our executive staff, because majors and above are considered executive staff. They're appointed positions. We're going to honor our executive staff when they retire. And we have someone retiring, and it was Major McGahey. And so they called Hubs up there. They shook his hand. He got this big, it's real big. In the video, you can't really tell what I'm trying to do, but it's this big police shield, and had LMPD and it had Major McGahey on there. And basically they gave him that. They gave him a handshake. He had this big old cake, and it was really cool. It was so fun to see. And I created a video with the help of, I think I used Canva, but I created a video of all his previous promotions, and just to brag on my Hubs for a little bit. So Hubs started out, he joined the Marines when he was younger, and after leaving the Marines, he ended up working for our state police for a few years, making no money. I mean, he made like $9 an hour. Ain't that crazy for police? But so he worked for our state police, and then after that, he joined our metro government police, which is where he was like a patrol cop. And that's where I met him. I knew him as a patrol cop. I think he already had like 13, 15 years in or something like that by that point. I mean, he was already like in a lot. I can't remember how many years in, but he had quite a few years in as a patrol officer. And then when we were together, he tried for sergeant. So you have to take this big test. I mean, you have to like memorize the law. You have to memorize like the procedures. You got to memorize all the stuff that goes with policing, and take this test, and you get ranked. And I think he was like I think he was like top 4, 3, 4, or something like that. Maybe number one. I don't remember, y'all. I mean, that'd be bad if he was like number one. I don't remember. But he was the top person, in the top, we'll say, for sergeant. So he got promoted. And then after that is lieutenant. So the sergeant's job is so you have your officers. Your sergeant they actually have one of the hardest jobs because they are like that middleman. So they report to the lieutenant, but they're also kind of in it with the officers. So the officers are in the streets, but they'll call on the sergeants for certain runs. Like almost we need the manager right here. And so he was a sergeant for a little while, and then he had to take another exam to be a lieutenant. So more testing, more policies, everything. Like you just have to know it all. You have to interview, all that stuff. You get scored on that, and then based on all that scoring, you get ranked. And based on those ranking is when you get promoted. And so he did really well with his lieutenant's exam, and so he was promoted to a lieutenant, and he did that very well. And then I think it was around 2020, not or maybe right after 2020. He At that point, any promotion after that is appointed. So the chief of police and the mayor have to appoint you. So they'll interview you. They'll choose you. You gotta pass, through him and the mayor. So when he became major, it was because the chief of police, and I think it was under the previous chief of police, not our current one, promoted him to major, and then our current chief of police kept him on as major. And so I think that's how that works. And so they have divisions that they're under, and that they have, and I think there are maybe 13 majors. So like if you think there's like, I don't know, over 1,000 something, almost a couple thousand police patrol officers or police people, period. And then you've got your sergeants, and then you've got your lieutenants, and then you got your majors, and then above them are just, I think, the lieutenant colonels, and there's only a few of them, and then there's the colonels, which I think there's 2 of them, and then the chief of police, and the mayor. So anyway, so Hubs, I'm proud of where he ended up being. Look, y'all, I would love to bring him on. I would love to be like, here, come talk about some things, talk about police stories. Maybe now that he's retired, I might be able to get him on. Wouldn't that be fun? I mean, we could talk about, y'all, I did a ride along with him once, and we, I think twice actually. And I mean, we took someone to jail. We took a report of someone who had something stolen. We found some people doing things that married people do in the park, that even if you're married or not, you shouldn't do it in a public place. That was a fun little ride along. But anyway, so he would probably have some crazy stories. I know he has some because he told me them. I don't know I feel like he's allowed to talk about them as long as he doesn't give like any detail. So we got to get him on. I got to convince him to come on. He's like, nah, I don't like to talk. I don't want to do this. I've asked him to come on before, but maybe now that he's retired, maybe just a quick little segment. I don't know. I'll be like, you don't even have to do the whole podcast, like just a little bit. I don't know. We got to get him on. But anyway, so he's had quite the career, and I'm very proud of him. And I am very thankful and grateful that the Lord has seen him through. Law enforcement, first responders, it's not a career, it's a hazardous career. They get hazard pay because they really do put their life on the line. At any point, things can go south. I've always respected police officers. I know there's a lot of rhetoric around police. I can understand that not all police officers are good. I can understand that there's a lot out there that do racially profile and that are not good for the Black community. But I can say, with my experience, I have met so many more good police officers than I've met bad eggs. And I know the bad eggs are bad eggs, but I have seen so much good that police officers do. I have seen so much restraint that police officers have to have. I have seen so much integrity that police officers have to live by, that I respect them. I overall and ultimately respect police officers, starting with my husband. And I respect what he has done, how he has done it. Like I said, the integrity that he has done it with, the grit that he has done it with, the excellence he has done it with, um, the good attitude he has done it with when it's not easy to have a good attitude. It's not easy to be a person of authority and not take advantage of it. It's not easy to put your life on the line for people who misunderstand you or don't like you. The chief of police actually at this last ceremony, he said something along the lines of, you have to be a servant whether people love you or hate you. You have to be a servant to the person who loves you. You have to be a servant to the person who hates you. And I can say without a doubt that my husband has done that and has done it very well. Um, and so I love him for it. I love him for it. I love him for the fact that when people, you know, approach me or talk to me or even talk about the negative of police officers, that I can say, yeah, I can see that. But my husband isn't one of those police officers, without a doubt. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree. You don't have to support, but I do. I love, I support, I respect police officers and my husband. So that's my stance. That's my stance on it. Um, everybody do them, do you? But I appreciate my husband, and I greatly respect what he has managed to do for, I think, 26, 28, y'all, I don't know, 20 something years, over 2 decades. That's what we'll say. Over 2 decades. He has done it. He's done it well. So shout out to the Hubs. I love you tons. I'm going to have to show you this part of the episode because I'm giving you a shout out and you don't even listen to my podcast. Shout out to my husband. Congratulations on your retirement. I'm so glad that you were able to make it through safely, that God has kept you, that you didn't give up when it was hard, and that you ended on a high. I'm so happy, so proud, and grateful for that. So anyway, so the actual ceremony was wonderful, y'all. Okay, this almost ties into. I got 2 points to make. Okay, and I'll make them together. So the first thing was that this was a nice event, right? This is just, I don't think men ever worry about this. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. What you're going to wear. I was so concerned. I was like, well, what am I going to wear? I got to wear something that looks classy. I was like, I got to look something that just looks nice, that matches my husband. I mean, he was going to be in his uniform. He ended up not being in his uniform, but I was like, we're going to wear blue. Me and Fee are going to wear blue. I was like, I got to look cute. I got to look classy, but I don't want to be too overdressed, but I don't want to be underdressed. And I was so stressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? I had 3 different pairs of shoes that I brought with me because I didn't know what shoes I wanted to wear. Let me just talk about which ones they were. Y'all, I've thought about, what if I want a direction for this podcast? What if there's something specific that I would make this podcast about, but I can't because I have too many interests, and I should do specific, I have my segments. I could probably do specific maybe type of videos that maybe I could advertise a little more. Until right now, when people say, what's your podcast about? I say it's a random thoughts podcast. It's a lifestyle random thoughts podcast. What's going on in my life, just literally there to keep you company while you do your thing. Like that's it. To let you go to sleep, just sleep with, to just while you do your dishes. You know what I mean? Like that's my purpose. But I could talk shoes. And really, I can't even talk that much about shoes other than I just really like them. But anyway, so I had 3 different pairs of shoes. My first pair were a pair of flats. So I wore a blue dress. If you just a plain blue navy dress that it was a fit and flare. I don't know if you know what that means, but it just fit and then flares out like an A-line dress that I thought, cute, classic, with a belt, with a that tan cognac kind of color. Y'all, I don't even know how to say that word. Thin belt. And I was like, okay, with shoes. So I had my leopard print flats. They were Teeks, Tieks. I've had people ask me about those before. Teeks, they are comfortable. They're not comfortable in the sense of good support. If you need arch support, do not buy Teeks. No. They provide 0 support. They're flexible. So they're comfortable around your foot. Um, and they come in really cute colors. And they're noticeable as a brand because the bottoms are a turquoise color. No matter what color shoe you get, I believe the bottom are turquoise, so they're identifiable if you want people to know that you have a nice flat on, like just being real. Um, but yeah, so that's that. So I had those leopard print teak flats, okay, depending if like people were looking more casual than I wanted. My other pair of shoes were my very new, what shoes that my mom just got me. They are Veronica Beard. Got them from Nordstrom Rack. Originally like $400. Got it for less than half the price. They were like 2 inch. They're not kitten heels, but slingbacks. That I was like, okay, this is my. So my flats were fit was more casual than expected. My my slingbacks were if I wanted to feel more mature. If I wanted to come across as mature, not trying too hard, not too showy, just nice, but nice, And then I had my tan Christian Louboutin. Okay. If you don't know what that is, those are your red bottom shoes. Okay. $1,000 shoes. I did not pay that much. No, yeah, like half that. Okay. Poshmark, but they were authenticated, so they were real. So I had my red bottoms. Okay. And and I was like, that's if I just want to be me. Okay, all of them are me, but different versions of me. The more casual, the more mature, the like, I'm feeling cute today. My husband's retiring and we are gonna celebrate. Those are my Louboutins. And those are the ones that I wanted to wear. Like I was like, like they matched the outfit perfectly. I just love them. But I didn't want to be too flashy, right? I was like, what if people think that I'm just being flashy, that I'm just trying to be like show off, da 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 da. Like what if other people. All right. So here's what I did. You're like, who I'm telling you, if you're a woman, you've been in this position before. So I wore my flats because I was like, well, I ain't wearing, regardless, my heels ain't walking in with me. Okay. I will go in, go to the bathroom first and switch shoes. Okay. Um, so I walked to my flats, and as I was walking in, I saw another young lady, and she had on some really high heels. Let's just say she was wearing what she wanted to wear. And she was wearing these really high heels with this lovely little, what do you call it? Like a wrap dress. Um, looking cute. Okay. So I was like, oh, if she gonna be cute, oh, I'm gonna have to be cute, right? So I was like, I'm wearing my Louboutins. And so you guys, so I say if she can be confident to wear what she wants to wear, regardless of what other people are wearing, I'm going to too. So I switched into my Louboutins, and y'all, I felt like myself. I felt comfortable. I felt happy. Not everybody was as dressed as nice as I was. Some people were dressed even more than I was. I felt like me. And that felt good. And I said, why were you so stressed? When I say, y'all, I legit had, sorry if my chair is squeaking, I legit had a little bit of anxiety about what I was going to wear. Because I was like, how will people perceive it? How are they going to look? How do I want to come across? Da, 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 da. I was so worried about other people that I almost didn't wear what I wanted to wear. I almost lessened myself just to try to fit in and be like other people. Wasn't worth it. I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I saw someone else being who they wanted to be, and I said, okay, them being who they wanted to be is giving me permission to be who I want to be. And I want to be this girl who has these cute little Louboutin shoes, and people can think what they want to think about it. They can like it, they can not like it, they can think I'm stuck up, they can think whatever they want to think. This is what I'm going to wear because this is how I'm going to feel comfortable and feel like me. And I felt like me, and I felt comfortable, and it ended up being great. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad. So this is just me telling you, wear what you want to wear. If the flats were more you, who cares if everybody else is in heels? Wear your flats. If the high heels are more you, who cares if everybody else is in kitten heels? Wear your high heels. If the cute slingbacks are more you, who cares if people are in high heels or if people are in flats? Wear your cute slingbacks. Wear what's you. What will make you feel good? What will make you feel the most like yourself? Because then, like, what other people think don't even matter, because then you feel like yourself. Then you act like yourself. Like, it just, it, it'll feel good. It'll feel good. Okay. I'm not saying I've never been in a position where I felt overdressed or underdressed. I definitely have. I've been in those positions before. And I've had to mentally be like, you know what? Let me do me. But honestly, do you? People honestly probably aren't even thinking about it. They do not care. And if they do care, we don't care that they care, right? Let them worry about it. Let them worry about whether or not you fit in or not. That if they want to worry about that, that's on them. You just do you, right? But anyway, so that ties into, I meant to mention this last episode. I got to mention it now. It ties perfectly in. Okay. I was just scrolling on my Instagram. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know how we do. Okay. And I came across this reel, and it was a wedding. And this guy was like, wedding fit check, checking the watches. It was just the watches. So he went through and he was showing all the different men's watches and showing the price of them. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 13,000, 18,000. You guys, all of them were like between, $5,000 to $20,000. And I'm sitting here thinking, I could never be on that level. I don't even know that I want to be. And then he showed this guy's watch, $312,000. I said, oh, why do we even try to get involved in the rat race of life, of fashion, of money, when, like, okay, like my shoes, my Louboutins, they're high-end shoe, great. I I I can buy them if for me, but it has to be for me. Why? Because the minute I do it for somebody else, it's a competition, and there's always someone who has more, better, can do it better, can wear it better, who has more. I thought all those people with the $12,000 watches, I was like, man, those are even more than the people with the $6,000 watches. I thought that was huge and amazing. The $32,000 watch. And then this guy came in with $312,000 watch. And I said, oh. And I was just gently reminded, humbly reminded, someone's always going to have more. And it's okay. You cannot compare yourself. This is what it is. It's less than comparison. It's not about wealth. Buy what you want to buy. If you got the money for a $312,000 watch, buy it. Who cares? Buy it. But you cannot compare, because you were happy. I would have been, y'all, if I had a $6,000 watch, I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at me. Until I met the person with the $13,000 watch. And then I'm like, well, dang, I thought I was doing good. Until you saw the person with the $26,000 watch. Until you saw the person with the $312,000 watch. And you think the story ends there. It gets better. All right. So, of course, I had to peep the comments, because comment section's where it's at sometimes, right? So I go to the comments. Get this. The guy with the $312,000 watch, people were commenting, oh, he got that cheap. That's the cheap end of that brand. Oh my goodness, those watches are usually like in the 600,000s, in the millions. I Googled the watch. I Googled it. Those watches that he has runs literally in the millions of dollars. Not one. I'm like 10 million, 20 million. I can't remember if I wrote down the exact number. It was millions, plural, of dollars. The guy that I thought who had the biggest flex on everybody in that place, $312,000. Come to find out, in the other big world of rich people, he was on the low end of the totem pole. I was like, that just literally put in perspective for me. Like, do it for you. You cannot compare. Because there's always somebody with more, right? I'm not, like I said, this is not a finance podcast. This is not telling you not to spend your money. Spend it on what you want to buy. But just know that what you're spending your money on is for you. because man, the circles just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I was blown. My mind was blown. And I was like, you know what? There's always somebody who has more. Be happy with what you have. Be happy with where you are. Like I was like, I legit have to be happy. I am happy for the fact that I can have the things that I have, and I have to be happy with that. I have to be. Like, like if you just could you imagine that if you spent almost $500,000 on a watch and it was like they were like, "Oh, did you get it on clearance?" What? Like y'all, it just blew my mind. I'm so sorry to be saying all that. I'm literally just saying all that to say you got to do it for you. Don't do it for other people. Um, I have this quote my husband always says that he got from a great. He always says the great philosopher. I can't remember who, but he's like, more money, more problems. I was like, yeah, it'll never end. If you always ever want more money, y'all, it'll never end. But anyway, so I said all that, literally all that, the whole my story about my shoes, the story about the watches to say, where would you want? Where would make you smile? Okay, because y'all, somebody else is going look. They going to show something else. So where would you want? Where makes you smile? Do it. Make it yours. Make it your own. Y'all got another example of that. Okay, there's this song, and I'll be wrapping up soon. I know I'm getting close to an hour. There's a song that I've been trying to learn. Um, I am blessed to be able to sing at my church, and I'm blessed to be able to sing, lead on quite a few songs, um, and oh, the cat. I don't know if you heard that. The cat just sneezed. Anyway, there was a song that I was asked to sing that was definitely outside of my comfort zone. It was a fast song. It was a high song. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I was stressing myself out so bad trying to sing it like the girl who originally sings it. And because I wanted to sing it like the girl sang it. I wanted to sing it in a way that everybody would recognize. I wanted it to sound good just like her. And I was trying and trying, and I was not getting it. And I finally got to the point, and I was talking to another lady at my church. I was like, I don't know. I can't do this. And I was reminded, she was like, you got to make it your own. And I was like, okay, I got to make it my own. I got to lower it. I got to change some of those ad libs because some of those ad libs aren't me. I could do some of them, but some of them, you can tell I'm just trying to say what someone else is saying, right? I was like, I have to make it my own. And that's the only way this is going to work. And I was like, okay, all right, I can do it. Y'all, up until like the day of actually singing it to the church, I was so nervous. I was practicing all the time. It was the one that I was practicing with Phebe that I was singing super, super loud. Let's just say she heard it a few more times. Um, I was so nervous. I was nervous leading up to it. And finally I was like, okay. When I started singing it the way that I can do it, I felt much better about it. And then when it actually came time to sing it, I said, I got to do me. I got to do it the way that I know how. And I was able to get through it. And I think it went well, but I felt comfortable with it. And I was just reminded, like, we can't compare. We can't compare. We have to do what we can do. And what we can do is important. It matters. Like sometimes I think like so-and-so can sing so much better than me. They have a better voice. They can do this and I can't do that. And it's like, it's okay. Because it's not always about like, who was it? Somebody reminded me. It was at church. Like, good thing we don't all sound the same because that'd be really boring, right? Good thing I can't sing it the same way someone else would sing it. Because then what would be the purpose? What would be the purpose of having diversity if we literally all sounded the same? And our strengths are going to be different, just as our weaknesses are going to be different. And that's like the beauty of, I would say, of the family of God, but the beauty of diversity in any area is that we all bring something different and can make something good with it, And so I was like, okay, so this is my reminder to you, whatever it is, do not compare yourself to someone else doing the same thing. Do not compare yourself. Make it yours. Do you. Do you. And not in the sense of like I know some people take it too far and they're like, oh, wait, no, do you in the sense of like, do you the way that God wants you to do it. Okay. Don't make it about you, but you can you tell the difference of what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not trying to say make it all about you, but I'm saying like, it's okay to do you, right? God made you the way he wanted to make you. He gave you the talents that he chose to give you, right? And I feel sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't complain about this or that or this or that because that's complaining to God, like saying like he didn't do it right or he didn't do it enough or whatever. And I'm like, okay, you gave me just the right amount of talent for me, for you to use me in whatever capacity you choose to use me in within that talent. So anyway, so that's all I want to say there. And y'all, okay, I'm going quick because, like I said, it's almost an hour. An hour is about where we cap out at. I only have a few more things to say. Um, the first thing is first week back at school. Okay, y'all, I'm tired. The first 3 days, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is teachers only. So we had like our professional development, things like that. And then we had students the last couple of days. Y'all, I'm working with the students. I'm so excited. I'm meeting them, but I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait to leave. Like, I love my kids. I love them. I love the students, but I am so excited and ready for this next chapter. But I mean, y'all know that already. That I didn't say all of that. There was 2 stories I have with that. 2/3. We'll do the first two, and then I'll end on the last one, because the last one it's another lesson learned, y'all. It's a lesson learned. The first one was, okay, this is just a funny story. So we were getting our kids ready for dismissal. We had a dismissal practice where each grade comes down and practice how to leave. You guys, you got to practice everything, right? And so our first graders, I think we just did we do them all together? I can't remember. I think we did our first graders downstairs. So first and second and kindergarten together, or just first and second grade. The point is, I had car rider duty, and so we had the kids in the cafeteria or in the gym for dismissal. Well, then each teacher came to pick up their kids. So there are 3 first grade teachers. The first grade teachers came one by one, and they go to take their kids. Well, at the end of it, the gym was empty, save for like 8 kids, right? And we're like, everybody's taken. If you're still here, you must have missed it, right? So these kids are kind of like, what are we doing? Where are we going? And so I was like, okay, I can take the first graders. And there's like 5 first graders. And this is me. Like, this is just me being real, and I don't mean any harm by it. But I was walking, and I was like, how do you miss like your kids? Like, how do you leave your kids? Which, I mean, y'all, I've left a kid in the bathroom during the fire drill before and was like, yeah. So it can happen. But it was just a real quick, like, how did they get left? How did they get left? That was the question. Not how did the teacher miss them? How did the kids not see their teacher? I can understand how all that can happen. We barely know our kids at this point. We're one day in. The kids barely know. I get that. But I was just like, man, how did this happen? So I had 5 first graders that needed to walk back to class. We go out the door, and I'm like, all right, guys, come on. And I'm walking 2 seconds in, and I turn around to check. Y'all, how do I only have 2 of the 5 kids? I look back, and I was like, wait a minute. Where did the other 3 go? And immediately I was like, this is how they got left. One of the kids had he was trying to follow us, but must have got caught up with another class and was in the second grade classroom line. Another kid never made it out of the gym into the hallway. So because she didn't make it, the kid behind her was still behind her. So I was like, whoa. I was like, guys, come on. And when legit, I had to keep an eyeball on all 5 of them and kept having to be like, all right, guys, follow me. Nope, we're going this way. I thought it was just a straight line from us to the classroom. At that point, I was like, okay, I totally understand how these kids got left, because my goodness, it was just 5 kids, not 25 like these teachers have. 5 kids, and I already misplaced 3. I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you for the subtle, humbling reminder that life happens. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry the thought ever crossed my mind of how could this happen? Because this is exactly how it could happen. So I thought that was funny. The other thing is, I already had to use my teacher voice. Yeah, you know the teacher voice. We had to be like, hey, and then like me mug them. I did this with the kid. The whole 2 fingers. I'm watching you. I already did that this year, y'all. We are 2 days in with these kids. Anyway, so there's that. The other thing, the last thing that I wanted to share, okay, second to last thing I wanted to share is that I had another moment. This last couple weeks has just been lessons on don't comparing, lessons on just do you. The other thing is, so you guys know the scripture, be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, that scripture. Well, I had a moment where I was quick to speak. I wasn't slow to speak. I was quick to speak and to wrath. And it was a situation with other adults, and I just I just I don't know why, y'all. We don't know why, but I just got mouthy. I was like, well, but because I thought I was right. That's what it came down to. I thought I was right, and because I thought I was right, I felt like I just had to say something. I had to be like, yeah, well, but if you could just picture that, right? And so I and like after you do that, you're like, maybe I didn't have to be that aggressive. Maybe I didn't have to stand my ground that much. And I felt that. And y'all, like immediately when I got home, that was like the scripture of the day was let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Y'all, conviction, just like, and I felt bad. And I was like, when you like wish you could take something back. I mean, it wasn't anything terrible, horrible. I didn't say nothing like wrong per se, but I just like I wish I could take it back because that's not who I want to be, right? Like I don't want to be a person who mouths off for good cause supposedly, but you know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to be that person, and now that like people are gonna think they're not gonna think that, but I was just blah, 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 in my brain. It was really hard to like get over it. I mean, I like went to bed worried about you guys know those moments where you're like, you just regret it. You just wish you could go back and just take back those 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it would have taken back, and it would have been fine. And I couldn't. And I was reminded, listening is better. And sometimes things will work themselves out, and you have to take the lesson and move on, because you can't take back words, but you can move forward. And so I was like, okay, I can't go back and change the situation, but I can move forward. And one of the ways I chose to move forward was I chose to, and God had to, y'all, this is something you would think would come naturally. My brain was like, I don't know what to do. God reminded me, you can apologize. And I was like, apologize? But it wasn't that bad. Bad enough for you to like not go to bed over it that bad, but not bad enough to apologize. I was like, okay, God, okay. So I'm thinking about how am I going to apologize? The whole way towards this was a work thing. So the whole way towards work, I was like, how am I going to apologize? What am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? Well, the opportunity came for me to approach while there were multiple people in that area, there was one person that this comment was more targeted toward. So I went towards this person. I went to this person privately. I could have did it publicly, neither here or there is not that big a deal, but I did go to this person. I said, hey, I'm so sorry I was so aggressive with that comment yesterday. I said, there was no reason for me to get that aggressive about it. I said, I heard you and I thought about it, and you did have a really good point that made so much sense. I don't know why I was so aggressive. And she was like, no, no, it's fine. She goes, honestly, other people talked to me about how aggressive I was being, and I felt bad, and I felt like maybe I shouldn't have said certain things. And she was like, it is not a big deal at all, and you are fine, and my goodness, like don't even think twice about it. And I felt so much better. And I was like, golly, thank you, God, just for, while we could have got over it, all of us would have got over it, the humbling experience of going back and apologizing. To me, I was like, that to me is like the Christian response. There are times where, as Christians, being Christ-like, we have to do that kind of extra step, that hard thing. We have to go to apologize, even if we weren't necessarily wrong per se. Like what I said wasn't necessarily wrong, but I do think how I said it was a bit, abrasive. And so it's okay to go back and apologize. It would have blown over. It would have been fine. Maybe no one else would have thought twice about it. But the fact that I thought twice about it, the fact that God was like, hey, you could apologize and it might feel better. I was like, okay. And I did feel better. And I was like, okay. And I felt more Christ-like having done it. And so I think that's the perk of being a Christian, is that I think God often gives you the opportunity to make it right. And it's almost like God gives you the permission to make it right. That even if you're like, like I don't wanna, like your flesh, I don't wanna, because you know that there is a God who cares, that there is a God who wants you to have good character, who wants you to have integrity, who wants you to have these really good characteristics that you're like, okay, all right, I'm going to do it because it does matter, because it does make me more Christ-like, because it is an example. It is a light. It will make me a better person. It will make me a better employee. It will make me a better spouse, all those things. So anyway, so I just thought I would share that just to encourage anyone to listen to that God voice and to like, hey, sometimes you're going to make a mistake and that's okay. But listen to what God's going to tell you to do after the mistake and try to obey that. He might tell you to apologize. He might tell you, hey, you're okay. You can move on, right? Like whatever, but whatever it is, listen to God on that. And it'll be okay. It'll work itself out. God will work it out for you. And it's cool. It's cool. Being a Christian is cool. Being a Christian, it's nice. I don't know. I like it. Obviously, I like it, but like it's a good thing. And I think sometimes we forget that it really is life changing and can be life changing. So anyway, so that was, I had to share that. My very last thing is I have a new app suggestion for you. This is going to be quick. It is called Recipe Keeper. Okay. There is a free version, y'all. 5 minutes in, I paid for the full version. It was $20 for like life, not a subscription. Thank you, Lord. And basically you put in your recipes. You can type them in. You can put a recipe from a picture. You can put a recipe from a text. You can put a recipe from a website. You can create your own recipe book in the simplest way without all the extra stuff. It organizes it. It's nice. It's simple. It's easy. That's what I love about it. Recipe Keeper. Check it out if you want to keep track of recipes. Like literally, I had a friend who texted a recipe like years ago. I went back, found it, copied the text, put it in it, and it broke it down for me, like the ingredients, the how-to, and everything. Y'all, I love this. So if you're interested in digital recipes, I still haven't found like a digital closet thing for me that I really like, but digital recipes, like your own recipe book, I gotta suggest Recipe Keeper. But anyway, okay, you guys, that's it. I think there is more in the last couple of weeks that have been good, but I've already been going over an hour, so I don't want to like, keep you guys forever. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you all for those who have been watching on Spotify, who've been watching on YouTube. Thank you for those who've checked in on Instagram. On Instagram, I do not post full videos, but I post little clips from the videos, just like little catchers, like just because. So thank you for those who've checked those out. I really appreciate you guys and the positive feedback that I've gotten in person or via text from the video podcast. I plan to continue to get better and to do more and to figure it out. But thank you guys so much for hanging in there and for tuning in and for listening. Feel free to leave a 5-star review somewhere. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, y'all. All the things. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch y'all in a couple weeks.